My name is David Ruggerio, and I grew up in Brooklyn. It's a tough town, but it has a lot of great people with a million stories. Take me, for example. Believe it or not, I was a pro boxer for a while, but I decided to trade in my gloves for a set of oven mitts.
David Ruggerio was at the helm of some of the finest kitchens in New York City and would cook his way to the highest echelon of the restaurant world, eventually making it to the Food Network as a hand-picked replacement for Emeril Lagasse on his own primetime show, Ruggerio to Go. Those plans would fall apart when on Thursday, July 2, 1998, police would enter Ruggerio's Le Chantilly restaurant with a search warrant. The Manhattan District Attorney charged Ruggerio with defrauding a credit card company out of $190,000 by inflating diners' tips. Ruggerio initially denied the allegations, but facing 15 years in prison, he would plead guilty to attempted grand larceny in exchange for 5 years probation and an agreement to pay $100,000 in restitution. Within months, Food Network canceled his show, his restaurants closed, and he filed for personal bankruptcy. Then, he disappeared from the food world. In March of 2022, Vanity Fair did an interview with Ruggerio, where he would reveal a secret. David Ruggerio, born Sabatino Antonino Gambino, was a cousin of the notorious Godfather, Carlo Gambino, and claimed that from an early age, and through the entirety of his cooking career, he was an active made member of the Gambino crime family, taking part in various crimes such as extortion, loan sharking, truck hijacking, bookmaking, heroin dealing, and several murders, including torturing and killing a mob associate named Pasquale Patty Mac Macchiarole at a tire repair garage in Yonkers. After Ruggerio confessed to helping torture and kill the man, Macchiarole's grandson now says the former mobster must face whatever penalty for whatever crime he committed. Ruggerio said, "I was living two lives." Although his name was spelled differently, Ruggerio also claimed he is related to the John Gotti confidant, Angelo Quack Quack Ruggiero. David Ruggerio was a part of the crew of Gambino capo, Carmine Lombardozzi, who encouraged members of his crew to get legitimate jobs to avoid suspicion from law enforcement, which led to Ruggerio taking a job in the kitchen at one of the top French restaurants in the city called La Caravelle. Ruggerio would go on to own a restaurant called Le Chantilly. In the 1980s, Ruggerio joined a Brooklyn crew run by Gambino capo Daniel Marino. Bruce Mao, who ran the FBI's Gambino squad in the 1980s and 90s, confirmed Ruggerio's restaurant was one of Danny Marino's hangouts. Mao's successor on the Gambino squad, Phil Scala, confirmed that Ruggerio was a member of Marino's crew. Ruggerio's restaurant even hosted the 50th birthday party of Gambino boss, John Gotti, which happened to be Gotti's last birthday as a free man. Ruggerio steered lucrative restaurant supply contracts to mob-connected vendors and bribed union officials to keep his kitchens non-union. In 2014, David Ruggerio's 27-year-old son died from an apparent drug overdose. Even though his captain was on house arrest at the time, Ruggerio was enraged that Marino didn't show up at the funeral. Ruggerio said, "When Danny didn't come, that's when I said, 'Fuck this, I'm done.'" Ruggerio walked away from the Gambino family, not cooperating with the government and not wanting to get any current Gambino members in trouble. Ruggerio eventually wrote his memoirs about life in some of the finest restaurants in New York, as well as life in the New York Mafia. Ruggerio wrote, "Everything within these pages is accurate. There was no need to embellish. The truths were horrific enough." We recently reached out to David Ruggerio with hopes of speaking with him about his story and the Vanity Fair article. Mr. Ruggerio did get back to us and said that he can't speak now due to ongoing investigations, but did say to feel free to keep in touch. Hopefully, Mr. Ruggerio will join us for a conversation sometime in the future. Let us know your thoughts on David Ruggerio down in the comments, and keep following American Made.
So you guys stay tuned.